Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Log Yard. My father has been a logger for 15 plus years, but even to this day, his occupation is still frowned upon by those who remember a time when logging was much different. Logging has been under scrutiny for having a negative impact on the environment, and not for a bad reason. Today we're going to be exploring the rich history of Pennsylvania logging and how it has formed our nation for good or ill. Let's get into the video. Nowadays, we take great care to only cut down certain trees. By select cutting our forests, we ensure a healthy regeneration, but sadly, it wasn't always so. In the mid-1700s, after European settlers arrived in what is now Williamsport, they got right to work at what would someday be considered mass destruction. Gazing upon acres and acres of beautiful virgin forest, the settlers saw an opportunity for great wealth. Ranging along the Susquehanna River, these forests were home to some of the most valuable trees in North America. Sparing no time, they went right to work, using only primitive tools like axes and saws. One can only imagine the effort it must have taken to fell even one of these 100-foot tall trees. It is profound to think how far we have come from then, but at the same time, I wonder if a feat like that is even possible today. Instead of cutting one in every 10 trees like most loggers do nowadays, they clear cut. This is when you harvest every single tree until the mountain is bare. This alone is why loggers still to this day get a bad rap. Clear cutting has led to ecological imbalances, loss of biodiversity, and habitat destruction. After a tree was felled, getting it to a sawmill was no clear case. At times, 14 horses were needed to haul these majestic white pines to the river. This is where we meet the legendary Williamsport Boom. Now imagine this. Instead of hauling logs far and wide to the mills, they did the opposite. They decided to bring the sawmills to the logs themselves. How? Well, they went big, sinking enormous piers into the mighty Susquehanna River. It was like nature's own timber vault, and those piers were the gatekeepers. Now we're going to go on a short little field trip to see the very mountains we're discussing. Jade and I are going to hop in the truck and we'll meet you there. Picture this scene. Colossal steam mills line up like eager participants in a grand spectacle. Their mission, to tackle the task of converting the bounty of forest held up by this watery dam into raw materials that will soon be the building blocks of Williamsport. I am standing about where this picture was taken hundreds of years ago. I don't know about you guys, but that is such a cool thought to have seen that picture and also be standing here now. As you can see from behind me, the trees have grown back and everything has pretty much been restored, except of course you don't see those giants that once dwelled on those mountains. By the 1920s, everything was gone. There was nothing left because every single tree had been cut down. And what a mighty shame it was, but one thing is for sure, our town would not be the same if they had cared more about preserving the trees. Our tiny little town is rich with history, and it will forever be known as once the lumber capital of the world. For any of you wondering why our channel is called Lumber Capital Log Yard, this is why. These early loggers may not have been as economically conscious as we are today, but one must admire the industrialism and fortitude these early settlers showed. That's it for today's video, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more content. Other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.